meditation service. I'm going to invite you to join me in my world. My world, meditation is, it is the answer to all that you are seeking. For those of you who are familiar with the mystic Rumi, there's a quote that says, "That which you are seeking is seeking you." That which you are seeking, though, is the radiance, the resplendence of every aspect of that which makes your heart sing and brings you joy. Everything that comes along with it, the wellness that comes along with it, the joy that comes along with it, the harmony, the peace, the clarity, the prosperity, all of it. And so when we move into meditation, we're not just doing a practice where we're being calm for a minute. We are actually, if you really allow it, so I'm going to invite you today, just join me, if you so choose, to let yourself be overwhelmed with the eternal frequencies, overwhelmed with peace, overwhelmed with calm and clarity and joy. It takes a little getting used to, but as we nurture our meditation practice, as we open to the return, we're not going someplace new. We're returning to the beginning. The beginning. If I could take you, if we went into a hypnotic trance and we went back to when you were about 3 weeks old, you would just be in this field of like, oh my God, where the veil is so thin and you can still feel the ecstasy of the infinite eternal. So I'm just going to invite you to join me in this. We set intentions in our human adventure. Our intentions, everybody knows. Intentions launch energy. My intention is to raise my right hand, and there it happens. That same phenomena works no matter what it is in life. And so we're going to move into a place when we move into meditation. It's part of surrender. What is surrender? Surrender is letting go of difficulty, confusion, arduousness. It's letting go of temporal energies of lack and limitation, and it's opening to the grace and the beauty, the simplicity, the effortlessness, and the elegance of the infinite. So I'm doing a big commercial. I mean, you're already sitting here, so I know I got you. Love streamers, welcome, good morning. And so we're getting ready. We're getting ready in a minute. I'm going to offer up a couple of our intentions, but especially when we come together collectively, it is just so delicious. So allow yourself to surrender and allow the definiteness of that, the definiteness of the energies of the infinite eternal, which is really, it's also the same vibration of your soul. You're just meeting you. You're communing with you. That's what meditation is. It gets more delicious and more magnificent all the time. The more you do it, the better it is. And get this, it doesn't mean you're going to sacrifice or have to give up anything. As a matter of fact, you're going to open to so much goodness. So before we begin, I'm just going to invite everybody, if you have a cellular device, if you could just make sure it's either off or in meditation mode, also known as airplane mode. Love streamers, if you're on a cellular device, you might just want to put yours on Do Not Disturb so that you can still stream. And we're getting ready to move into Do Not Disturb. I'm going to center us, and the intentions we have, I say this just about every time. We're going to let this be the deepest, the most delicious, the most relaxing, rewarding, benevolently satiating, blissful, gentle, kind, opening, profound meditation ever. Rejuvenation is what you're going to allow. Revelation is what you're going to allow. Relaxation. All of that to be said. I'll tell people all the time, even if you come in here and you just take a nap, you're still going to be, you're good. It's going to be the best nap you'll ever take. It is nice to move into a lucid state of divine awareness. So that will be our intention, that we're moving into that lucid state where you can just be in awe of the eternal around you that is always there. And all the channels, all the meridians of our physical, emotional, mental bodies wide open. You don't even need to know what that means, just agree. It just means that just like your circulatory system, your arteries, your veins and everything, when they're open and the blood is just flowing, it nourishes. It's unfettered, unencumbered. That's what our channels and meridians of our physical, emotional, mental body, just wide open, nourishing and flourishing. It's better than any, it's the best, meditation's the best medication there is. And of course, nothing's going to distract us or disturb us. You hear a sound outside, you hear a sound in your head. Just going to let it be. We don't have to get involved with it. We'll just let it pass on by. You've ever fallen asleep to music or fallen asleep to the TV and it's just faded out in the background? Just let it fade out to the background. You're still keenly and acutely aware. With that, like I said, if you hear every word I say, great. If you don't hear a word I say, no problem. If you doze off, that's okay. And we're going to go ahead and we are ready to begin. As always, we begin by giving ourselves permission to relax. Let all the muscles, all the bones and ligaments and tendons just begin to melt into relaxation. The emotions relaxing, opening, and the mind slowly beginning to let go of thoughts. We have no place to go. There's nothing to do except surrender into the deepest states of relaxation, rejuvenation, and revelation. We give permission to open our hearts, our bodies, our emotions, our minds to the beauty, the grace, the love, and the dynamic presence of the eternal. We remember that eternal is synonymous with angelic, synonymous with the eternal frequencies of peace and harmony, beauty and love, goodness and clarity. We take a moment as we open to these eternal energies. And we allow ourselves to be gently overwhelmed. This overwhelm only shows up as bliss. And so we open to that. And so I invite you to open and feel and sense the energy of Shakti, of prana, life force. Notice how it's breathing your breath right now. And as you let go of any control over your breathing, you'll notice that it will move into its effortless, natural rhythm of inhaling and exhaling all on its own. Our intention is is to allow it. With what? Not one drop of efforting. To expand. Every breath becoming deeper, wider, and fresher. For the moment, every inhalation drawing in greater energies of eternality, and every exhalation letting go of temporal energies of concern, tension, doubt. We take a moment on your next exhalation and imagine a plume of steam rising as you exhale from your crown, evaporating into the light. Exhaling, we let go of concerns, to-dos, and what was. And inhaling, a soft and gentle overwhelm of tranquility, peace, and divine strength. Exhaling, we surrender and let go of efforting, trying, struggle. As we inhale, the elegance of ease and effortlessness. Exhaling, we let go of analyzing, thinking, thoughts, and we inhale overwhelming waves of clarity, stillness, and wisdom. Feel that energy opening and expanding as your body temple reverts back to homeostasis. Right now, we remember the truth. It's coded in our spiritual DNA. The truth of wellness in every organ, muscle, bone, and tissue, in our emotions and mind. Allow yourself to return to the beginning. Radiant vitality, your soft vivaciousness, even feel your toes, your legs, your torso, your neck and throat, cheeks and jawbone flooding with light, luminosity, weightlessness, as density evaporates, expands. You may begin to notice your imagination has lifted from the temporal world and has returned home to inspiration, divine illumination, the wisdom of your soul. Every cycle of breathing is bringing in more light, is rejuvenating and expanding vitality and goodness. The exhalation synced with the inhalation, and both are circulating, breathing and expanding as waves of angelic light rise up from within us and wash over us. Every cycle of breathing taking us deeper and higher in bliss. And it is here that we relax, rejuvenate, and expand in goodness. I invite you to acclimate to the higher frequencies, alchemizing, up-leveling, uplifting, as more joy, more peace, a deeper sense of optimism and clarity overwhelm you with providence. Their natural circadian rhythms of rejuvenation as we continue to sync and link with our spiritual DNA, bypassing the belief system and allowing it to be purified. invite you to feel the energy of the perfect blueprint of your spiritual genealogy, your indigenous vibration, your eternal light. We give it permission to have its way. And as we do, I invite you to open into a field of gratitude, deep appreciation, remembering that which we call the universe, life, the Creator, God. We open to the presence that only has ever radiated love as a power and an intelligence. It is the intelligence and the power back of all creation. It created our arms and legs and organs and tissues, the earth. Created the galaxy, the blades of grass, the oranges on the tree, the animals that frolic in our homes and in the wild. How grateful I am to know that this holy presence only seeks to beget good. There is no punishment, there is no withholding anywhere throughout the divine or the universe. It is all giving, all knowing, all powerful. And that omni-activity is seeking to bring forward your magnificence. We have an agreement to allow it to be. We do so knowing something wonderful by relaxing, by communing with the soul, with the eternal, with the angelic light is taking place. And we are simply allowing it to continue as we come back into a lucid state of divine awareness, revelatory knowingness. We simply allow our beingness to be the anchor point of brilliance on earth. We allow it to be by saying, and so it is. Amen. As we come back into the room, I want to welcome you back. If you need a little extra grounding, you can take, I like the opposite hand to opposite knee approach, or you can just kind of push your feet into the ground. Just make sure you're anchoring those energies. And the lights are going to come up. For those of you who may or may not be aware, today after service, we're having a staycation, rejuvenation mini retreat from noon to 4:30. It includes a delicious lunch. There's still a few spots left. If you want to register at the welcome table, you can. And we're going to take a break for about the next 6.5 minutes before we start our music and our message. So feel free to move about the cabin, and we will see you back in about 6 minutes.
Summer, but it's not, right? It's a beautiful day today. So my name is Paulette Smith, and I'm a member of the board here at Soul Center. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the board and our founders, Jessica Suslik, and our angel in heaven, her mom, Patricia Griffith. Her photo's right over there if you haven't seen that before. We're going to start today with our Soul Center Declaration. It's in your program and coming up on the screen. We're all going to rise and say this together with great intention. All right. There is one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. Center Band. Jesse, arrives here, and we have Lacey Johnson here today as a bonus, and Rena's here somewhere. So Rena Cervantes and Ruth Smith. And now we have Mary Jane with some important announcements.
Thank you. A friendly reminder to turn your cell phones in meditation mode or preferably off. And by the way, everything that I'm saying and announcing can be found in your program or on our website, soulcenteroc.com, and in our newsletter. All right. Happy 12-year anniversary, Soul Center. The celebratory events continue with a staycation today from 12 o'clock to 4:30. Join Reverend Keith for some rejuvenation, relaxation, and revelation. This is an immersive spiritual retreat designed to bridge the gap between where you are and where your soul wants to be. It's a vacation for the soul, where we move from the noise of the world into the clarity of your highest self. If you have not yet registered, reserve a spot online or go out to our welcome table right after service. And a tasty lunch will be served, neutrally dense, from our chef, Lynn Shanky. So join us next month for next month's Lunch and Mingle next Saturday, January the 25th, as we celebrate the incredible volunteers and members who are the heart of Soul Center. Thanks to a generous member who covered all the entry fees to nearby exclusive private club, you can enjoy a premium set menu for only $40. It's a fantastic experience at a high-end venue and a fraction of the standard cost. It's only $40. Space is limited. Reserve your spot online or scan the QR code at our welcome table, which is outside.
I have my ticket already. Who's joining me?
And we have a new class, Principled Prosperity, Invest in Your Success. In this class, we will participate in immersing in the principles of prosperity associated with the law of circulation, generosity, attraction, and worthiness. You will be empowered to not take no for an answer when it comes to your divine receptivity, to release reluctance and embrace your true prosperity consciousness. And there are many ways that you can participate and give back to Soul Center. You can shop in the Almond Garden bookstore. You'll find lots of spiritual books, like candles and jewelry, or pick up a gift certificate. Soul Center members receive 10% off of all purchases. And you can also find out about that in the Almond Garden bookstore, which is right around the corner here. Okay, go to soulcenteroc.com, our welcome table, our Sunday service program, or our newsletter for information on the events coming up, and like Reverend Keith's Daily Affirmative Prayer, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, on Zoom and Soul Center's Facebook page. And we'd love to have you on our Soul Center OC volunteer team. If you're looking for a way to share your unique energy and help our community grow, this is a perfect opportunity. Visit the welcome table today or chat with our leads, Colleen Lavoie and Kathy Loquet. I think they're both in here.
Thank you.
There you go. Together we can make a wonderful impact. All right, now it's time to lift the roof. Join our Soul Center house band for some rock and soul. Stand up, find the rhythm, and lend your voice to the music. All right.
Here I Donovan, and our reading today is from A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. The ego identifies with having, but its satisfaction in having is a relatively shallow and short-lived one. Concealed within it remains a deep-seated sense of dissatisfaction, of incompleteness, of not enough. I don't have enough yet, by which the ego really means I am not enough yet. The ego wants to want more than it wants to have. And so the shallow satisfaction of having is always replaced by more wanting. This is the psychological need for more. That is, more things to identify with. It is an addictive need, not an authentic one. There are many accounts of people who experience that emerging new dimension of consciousness as a result of tragic loss. Some lost all their possessions, others their children or spouse, their social position, reputation, or physical abilities. In some cases, through disaster or war, they lost all of these things and found themselves with nothing. Whatever they had identified with, whatever gave them their sense of self, had been taken away, and then suddenly and inexplicably, the anguish or intense fear they initially felt gave way to a sacred present sense of presence, a deep peace and a serenity and complete freedom from fear. This phenomenon must have been familiar to St. Paul, who used the expression, the peace of God that passeth all understanding. Let us turn within and pray. I am so grateful today. I am so grateful for this community, for Soul Center OC. I am so grateful for knowing that there is this one thing that is happening here, and it is expressing itself as our very lives. That divine presence that we may call God or Spirit or the divine, that which moves and breathes through my very life. It is always present, never absent, always bringing forward love and our good. How good it is to know this presence is leading us, guiding and directing us, and how we're connected to this one, and how we're connected to each other. I'm grateful to speak a word of blessing over Soul Center OC today, blessing this very sanctuary as our refuge, this place where we come in to be renewed and restored, to connect with our community. How grateful I am for our founders, for Jessica and Patricia, for their sacred yes to bring a thought, an idea into the form that is Soul Center OC. How grateful I am for all the volunteers, how we share and take turns to help each other in our community. How grateful I am, and I'm blessing our Enlightened Kids Village today, this sacred, beautiful place for our youngest of congregants. I'm blessing Reverend Keith. How grateful we are for how he loves us and takes care of us, how he brings forward a message every week that is divinely inspired. I'm blessing our house band, these talented musicians that share their beautiful gifts with us every week. I'm blessing all of our volunteers and our prayer practitioners and prayer chaplains. How grateful I am that we are here to serve our community with affirmative prayer. So in such deep gratitude, thankfulness for this day of celebration, I'm grateful in knowing that it's truly a day where we're blessed with more love, more joy, more peace than ever before. And so it is. Amen. Okay, it is now time for our agape affirmations. Please rise. You'll find them in your program and coming up on the screen and live stream. I'll speak a line and then we'll all repeat them aloud together with sincerity and acceptance. My life is lived in ecstatic union with the divine.
My life is lived in ecstatic union with the divine.
I am inspired by creative ideas spinning from the mind of God.
I am inspired by creative ideas spinning from the mind of God.
The organizing principle of the universe handles the details of my life with grace and ease.
The organizing principle of the universe handles the details of my life with grace and ease.
My heart is an open door, giving and receiving love.
My heart is an open door, giving and receiving love.
God creates in perfect patterns, and I reveal them in my body, mind, and spirit.
God creates in perfect patterns, and I reveal them in body, mind, and spirit.
Life-affirming thoughts and mind-expanding insights light my way every day.
Life-affirming thoughts and mind-expanding insights light my way every day.
Gratitude flows like a mighty river through my soul.
Gratitude flows like a mighty river through my soul.
And so it is now. Amen.
So it is now. Amen.
So for those of you that would love to experience private individual prayer today, please come up here in the front by the gong after service, and there you will be directed to an agape licensed spiritual practitioner or a licensed Soul Center prayer chaplain who will pray with you on your behalf in a safe and confidential atmosphere. Please, peace and blessings, everyone.
Just want to say I love you guys.
We love you too.
I missed you guys. Happy New Year. It's been a little while since I've been here. So it's really good to see all of your beautiful shining faces this morning. It's a very happy Sunday. And I'm excited to start the year off at Soul Center, my first performance of the year with this song. So let's go for it. Brian, you're on the drums. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Come here. Give it up for Brian Sherrick on the drums. Nancy Godoy on the guitar. What am I to do? What am I to feel? I am like a child suggesting. Sweetie, you have outdone yourself. If you felt to put your hands up. Alright, we're gonna say it together. Y'all ready? We're gonna do a quick little affirmation. If you remember it, sing along. I surrender. 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 Come on, let's get on our feet. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. You want to just change my mind? Give me one more. If you feel it, make some noise.
Rita Cervantes! Love you, Lacey Johnson! Jessica Boy! And Brian Sherrick on drums today. Although I believe you're going to join us on the keyboard too. And welcome, good morning, Soul Center. Welcome. You're here to go to the next level of magnificence in a way that is perfect and right for you. I'm Reverend Keith. We are Soul Center, part of the Agape International Spiritual Center, which means we just abide by you living your magnificence. We abide in the spiritual truth teachings of all the mystics from all around the globe. The New Thought Ageless Wisdom teachings, which have been around for more than 450 years, were those who said, I want to know what the mystics knew. The ancient societies, the Essenes, some of the great avatars, whether it was Buddha, Jehovah, well, Jehovah being God, whether it was Moses, whether it was Muhammad or Jesus, or any of the other magnificent avatars around the globe that said, you know what, I want to have a divine personal connection, and I want to experience what that's like. That's what we come together. So when we offer our teachings, we're saying, here, you're going to go into the laboratory called Your Life, and you're going to take these principles, and we've got practices, and if you utilize these practices, you can experiment in your own life and see, does this work? Does this actually work? Does surrendering, which we know the definition of surrender means I am giving up struggle, strife, pain, and suffering, and I am transmuting into and expanding into a greater experience of authentic goodness, authentic Authentic is the key word here. Authentic is the purity of your soul. That's what we're here to do. So I'm welcoming you to the next level of your magnificence. You're going to put on your white coat, and you're going to go into the lab, and you're going to start experimenting and see, what does the law of prosperity actually look like in my life? What does the law of radiance look like in my life? What does the law of creation look like in my life? And then you get to start to experience it. You get to have firsthand. That's what we're looking for. We're not here to say, follow these rules, dot your I's, cross your T's, and if you don't do it right, you're going to HE double hockey sticks, because we know that doesn't exist. There is no place in space or time anywhere, in any dimension of any incarnation of that which some places might call hell. That is just an idea that comes from separation from your good. And we are closing the gap on that separation, moving into unity. And the good news is, you can be in this life, in this body, in this world, and you can experience the sublime. It will open you to dimensions of magnificence. I can guarantee you. I'll give you a money-back guarantee. All right. Is there anybody who's here for the very first time today? And if you're here for the first time, if you wouldn't mind standing up, you don't have to if you don't want to, but all we're going to do is just give you a blessing. So if you want to stand and rise, please feel free to do so. Love streamers, if you're streaming in for the first time, please stand up at home. And when you come here, for the first time, you'll do it in person. And all you have to do, for those of you who are here for the first time, you're just going to receive. You're not doing anything else. You don't have to do what we're doing. You just receive. You're going to open your heart. We'll take care of the rest. All right, we're going to extend our heart and our prayers through our hands, and we're going to say this to you. Welcome to Soul Center.
Welcome to Soul Center.
We know who you truly are.
We know who you truly are.
A divine, angelic emanation of bliss.
A divine, angelic emanation of bliss.
Beauty. And intelligence. We love you. We thank God for you. Welcome to Soul Center.
Welcome to Soul Center.
And we mean that with full sincerity. When we do the welcome to the first timers, and we're asking you to open, really, what I'm asking you to do is to go into a benevolent state of vulnerability. All these strangers doing all this stuff. And it's but really, if everybody right now, if we just went, boom, and every single person on the planet lost all their issues. Issues are our worries, doubts, and our fears, our traumatic imprints. If you've got fears about competition, if you've got fears about claustrophobia, if you've got fears that somebody's out to get you, if you've been in an argument, imagine nobody. We're just living from the pristine, eternal frequency of harmony. Harmony is unity. Harmony is goodness. Harmony is wellness. Harmony is cooperation. There's a symbiosis and a synergy. Everybody, imagine all of the 8 billion plus people on the planet right now living in that, following the dictate of, for those of you who might be familiar, the monks who are walking from Texas up to Washington, D.C., 2,300 miles. There's about 20 plus of them, and they're just on a pilgrimage. And they're asking for nothing except just radiating. They're not espousing. There's no agenda. Small agenda. They just like to have a recognition of a particular day of peace, celebrating the birthday of Buddha. But, they're just really saying, And so they're pilgrimaging. They're stopping. They're putting up their tents. And they pick up and they move on as they make that pilgrimage that started in October. They're halfway there. All they're doing is radiating goodness. They don't need you to follow dogmas. They don't need you to do anything. But it's infectious and it's contagious. And there are people that are coming around and are waiting for them to show up, and not for anything other than to just go, oh my God, this feels really good. All you want to do is spread peace. So imagine this is the world you live in. It's going to start in your world. Inner peace, where you are going to say, I'm going to go into the garden of my soul, and I'm going to start weeding out my worries, doubts, fears, and all of the blaming and shaming, and I am going to be fortified, absolutely fortified in goodness, fortified in divine strength. This is who you really are. Just to let you know, you're not your name. If your name is Susie, you're not Susie. You can say, okay, I have this name of this costume of this character I'm playing called Susie or Susan. But really, beyond gender, beyond name, beyond age, beyond ancestry, beyond race, beyond any of this, you're a divine, immaculate being of light. And the whole entire journey is for you to become acquainted with you. You will become acquainted with the real you, the authentic you. And so we're here to do it. So if you would imagine the whole world is emanating from their own essence, unencumbered by any of their worries, doubts, and fears, all you're going to see is a bunch of people around the globe collaborating and conspiring for good. Imagine, I don't know, if there's a company out there that you really like, you like their product, you like their message, and you imagine the people that are working there, they just love it, and they're like, oh yes, let's make the best whatever it is bauble of the world that brings more goodness and joy to the world, and it's just this collaboration of goodness. That's the norm. That's the divine norm. So we're here to do that. We're here to do that, and as we continue on this month of stretching beyond our limits, I am giving you a charge. You're gonna move beyond your fears, your worries, your doubts. You're gonna beyond becoming uncomfortable. You're gonna move outside of your comfort zone, and you're gonna move into a really delicious new comfort zone. The new comfort zone is unbridled magnificence. There's ways to do that. There are ways to do that, and as we did in meditation this morning, where you just, you start to feel the stuff melting away. If you go deep into meditation, you'll feel, some of you may feel the Kundalini energy rising. You might just feel the expansions of peace and beauty and love and the clarity that comes along with it. Those are the eternal energies. That's the real reality. Don't be bamboozled by thinking that what's going on out in the world is the real reality. That's virtual reality. There's a lot of things taking place in your own life that are virtual reality too, but we're here to rise above that. And today's topic is mind-glowing joy and more with less. I'm going to sell you on a bill of goods today. I'm going to try to convince you to let go of more, and move into more with less. The less attachments you have, the more joy you'll have. That's what we're moving into. And it's mind-blowing, but it's also mind-glowing. I want you to just glow your mind. I want your mind to be glown with goodness. That means you're going to be open to inspiration. This is what all the avatars did. They sat. They were still. They allowed themselves to be inspired, and they exercised that muscle until it became their norm. And as you allow yourself to rectify, fortify, and expand into greater good, then you get to really understand what it means. What does it mean for you, individually, to personify the divine and experience being in the world but not of the world? First of all, it's gonna happen no matter what. So you might as well just get on board. You might as well get on board with your own soul, with your own self, and allow it to be good. But some of you are probably familiar with the principle of feng shui. Feng Shui, there's a couple different ways that people use it, whether it's the black hat Feng Shui or the Bagua version of it. But either way, it doesn't matter. They're accomplishing the same thing. That means you're opening to the flow of Qi. Usually we're talking about the flow of Qi in a physicality. So if anybody have ever had somebody come and maybe they do Feng Shui on your house, and they're like, they're going to tell you where the money center is, and they're going to tell you where the relationship center is, etc. There's a little bit of a map or whatever. And it is somewhat necessary and somewhat unnecessary because all it does is it's saying, get rid of stagnant energy. Open up. Get rid of clutter. Get rid of clutter in your home. If you've got clutter, if you're pack racking stuff, you gotta get it out and start moving. Open up the frequencies. Open up the energies so that you can have that more with less. That's what Feng Shui is saying. Do more with less. Be more open to the free flow of energy. So there's, different ways that we move through the world. And one of the key things to be aware of is there's your authentic needs. Your authentic needs, like where you live and how you dress, there's certain things. And then there's your egoic, inauthentic needs. The keeping up with the Joneses. I gotta have this particular car because it makes me look like this, and this particular fashion because it makes me... Basically, what I'm going to charge you with today is your intention is that you only want what you authentically need. All needs met in the divine, and all those needs that get met are the authentic needs. So to become aware of your authentic needs would be of paramount importance in our lives. What is it that I'm authentically looking for? I know that, back when I was in the corporate world, I was chasing. I chased from the minute I, graduated high school, went into college, and then went into the corporate world. I was chasing like the kind of status. I was working my way up the corporate ladder. Don't know why. Mostly I was motivated by, the more I make my way up the corporate ladder, the more money I make, allegedly, the more freedom I have. But I ended up with more responsibility. I ended up with more anxiety. I ended up with more stress. I ended up with a lot more money, but it came at a price. I wasn't savvy enough back then to really understand the heart, the mind-body-soul connection. The soul-heart-mind connection actually is a more accurate way of putting it. The soul is always transmitting a frequency of wisdom to your heart. That's how the infinite... There's a divine idea. Right now, there's a divine idea of your life. And it comes into fruition through you to the degree that you allow it to be. What does that mean? We might call it God's idea. I might also call it your soul's idea. This idea brings bliss. It not only brings bliss to you, but it brings bliss to everyone around you. It's infectious and it's contagious. If you've ever been around somebody with charm and charisma and enthusiasm that's like, ooh, and you're like, oh my God, like whatever you're doing, I want in on it. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of infection that you get to. Sometimes it's much more softer. Sometimes, it's just, have you ever seen that subtle elegance? Somebody just walks in the room and it's just soft and subtle and they're quiet and you're like, oh my goodness. It's like a starburst of angelic light. That's what we're all here to do. You are that. There's not one of you, there's not one person here, not one person on the planet, technically, that does not have that inner radiance. The law of radiance stipulates your inner radiance in absolute perfection of absolute bliss and joy that comes and emanates from the eternal frequency of your divine self radiates out into the world, and as that energy radiates out into the world, all that is necessary to perpetuate more goodness and swirl and whirl and circulate through you comes to it. So that's what the law of attraction is ultimately going for. To go to the highest frequency of the law of attraction means you move into your radiance. If you're just trying to attract things by saying, oh, I'm manifesting my prosperity, I'm manifesting my lover, I'm manifesting that trip, I'm manifesting the parking space, then you're going to use willpower. You'll get some mileage out of willpower. You might move the needle a little bit with willpower, but you're looking for thy will be done. You're looking for divine will to rise up from within you. And that divine will is your will. So we're making sure that we allow ourselves to know that we're kind of learning different techniques and becoming more self-aware to our beingness. And we want to ask certain questions. When you ask certain questions, you want to ask questions like, how do I want to feel? If you're coming up on an event, or just for the day, how do I want to feel this day? If I'm going to an event, how do I want to feel at this event? And you want to start to participate, or are you going to leave it to default? When I get to this event, I know so-and-so is going to be there, and, they get under my skin, so that's just going to ruin the event. I might not even want to go to the event because so-and-so is going to be there. Or do you want to be transcendent and be like, you know what? I am going to be anchored in the radiance of my own brilliance, and when I get to the event, it's going to be fun, it's going to be joyous. Or sometimes you might have to be, how do I want to, does this event resonate with the way I want to feel? Now, you want to be very, very acutely intent here. You want to be very aware. You're not going to do bypass. You're not going to do excuses. You're always moving for the highest good. You're always going for transcendence. So being able to differentiate between something that isn't for you and something that seems like a challenge but is asking you to grow. If something seems like a challenge that is asking you to grow, then this is the way I have done it in the past. Now I'm much more enthusiastic. But in the past I was like, oh, do I really have to do that? Oh, I don't want to do that. But it's for your highest good. You're going to come out better. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more healthy. Oh, okay. And then you acquiesce. That's, a surrender. That's surrendering to the call of the soul. But you have to become familiar with, is this a challenge that's going to grow me? Or am I going to shrink away from it? And I say, oh, no, I do today what I could do tomorrow and make that 100 tomorrows. No, you're going to say yes to more good. So you be still and you ask the questions. How do I want to feel at this event? You want to make sure you say, is it what I want to do? Is it what I want to experience? And as you ask the proper questions, then you zero in and you begin to feel inside your bones and beingness. You'll feel, is this resistance? Yes, it's resistance. Push on through. Is this something that isn't in harmony with me? Oh, it's not resistance. It just doesn't resonate with you. So you want to make sure that you check in on those things. Because I can't tell you how many people on the spiritual path confuse resistance with this isn't right for me. And if you fall for, oh, this isn't right, they're no good, whatever, too many times you're going to find yourself just closing yourself into a box. When you do encounter a challenge, you're going to stop. You're going to stop and say, if it feels like a struggle, if it feels like this isn't working, things aren't working, it feels like things are working against me, then you're going to pull back and you're going to find out, there's going to be certain challenges you're going to have to overcome. Some of them, you're not going to like this when I say this, but some of them, like forgiveness, forgiving so-and-so about such and such. Everybody is going to have to forgive so-and-so about such and such at some point. Sometimes you're going to forgive yourself about things. So you're going to have to encounter that. But you want to find out, how do I do that with ease? How do I encounter this seeming challenge and allow it? So when you stop, you get to pull back and you're like, I'm too focused on a myopic viewpoint of how awful this is and how bad this is. So I am just going to struggle through. It's going to be an awful experience and I'm going to come out on the other end resentful. No, that is not the way to do it. The way to do it is to stop, be still, and like, got to put on my wide-angle lenses and start seeing where am I going to find the path of growth in benevolence and brilliance. Everything, you might have noticed something already, everything I'm going to ask you to do on your spiritual path is kind of get still, check in. We talk about the soul, heart, mind connection. When you are a house united with your own beingness, when your thoughts, words, and deeds are all on the same page, when you allow your soul that informs, it'll just tickle down into your heart, and then you let it come up to your mind. And this is where the mind, because the mind, it rules the roost. Your mind makes your choices. Your mind makes your decisions, it makes your choices. Some of them it logs away and it shoves them in this file in the subconscious and says, this person is no good. They're a no good, dirty, rotten person, and I'm never going to deal with them again. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for behavior as somebody's beingness. Behavior is never somebody's beingness. You also want to make sure it's like, how do I want to know this person? How do I want to experience my relationship with this person? These are the questions you want to ask. When you do it in silence, when you do it in stillness, when you do it in the privacy of your own sacred space, and you're like, okay, this is what I've done. I had a person in my life that was kind of like one of those people you might have called an energy vampire. It was always like me, take. And so I don't know if anybody have ever experienced that. And then when you get with them, it's just like you feel like, okay, I can only take like about 2 hours, and then I'm going to feel drained and I got to go. So you're like, we're meeting for lunch. Okay, but I have an appointment at 3, so I gotta leave by then. And you're not saying that because you have an appointment at 3, you're saying that because you only have a certain amount of tolerance for that person. And so you want to make sure that it's like, okay, recognize the pattern, and then pull back and say, how would I like it to be with that person? So I had one of these people in my life, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to not have her in my life. I don't want to have these opinions and judgments. I don't want to feel